Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. All right, good evening, everyone. Tonight is the Hilulah of the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, and we are studying the Rambam. So we get extra zechuyot tonight as we study his works. May the neshama of the Holy Tzaddik protect all of Klal Yisrael. The zechuyot that come with the learning of the Torah as well. We are in the first chapter still of Hilchot Deot, and we are in Halacha Hey. We're talking about character development, amongst other things. Last we said that we have to try to aim for the middle path. And he says in Halacha Hey, Mi shehu medakdek al atzmo beyoter v'yitrachek mide'a benonit me'at letzad zeh o letzad zeh nikra hasid. If somebody deviates slightly from the middle because he feels that he needs to, and a little bit here, a little bit there, this person is called a hasid. It's called pious. Ketzad, for example. If a person goes totally the opposite of gova lev, which is arrogance, haughtiness, to the other extreme, where he is totally humble, that person is chasid. Midat chasidut. This is what we call midat chasidut, where it's not something that you have to be. Have to be is the benoni, but you want to go full out humble, and whatever that means, there's definitions of humility that's not for now. But if that's the case, then that's midat chasidut. But if you're only in the middle, anav, and you are anav, but you're not shefal ruach. You're not a person that is literally of a lowly spirit, but you're humble. Nikra chacham. That person is chacham. Vezohi midat chokhmah. That is the midat of chokhmah. We spoke about this last time. To achieve wisdom, or to be wise, is that of taking the middle path. Ve'al derech zo she'ar kol hadeot, and this is the way for all the traits. V'chasidim harishonim hayu matin deot shelahem miderech ha'emtzai keneged shtei hakesavot. And the early pious Hasidim, they used to do this a lot. They used to measure themselves and see where they needed to fix, and sometimes go a little bit off the middle path. Sometimes they went this way. Sometimes they go this way. This is going beyond the measure of the law. They want to be extra pious. They want to be extra anav, because this is what they feel they can get closer to Hashem. Again, lifnim mishurat adin. We are commanded to go in the middle. This is the good path and the straight path. Like the pasuk says, you should follow his ways. The rabbis took this phrase of ve'alachta bidrachav, and they learned this mitzvah. Mahu nikra hanun afata heye hanun. Just like God is Hanun, is compassionate, so too you have to be compassionate. Ma'u nikra rahum, afata yerachum. God is merciful, you're also merciful. Ma'u nikra kadosh, afata kadosh. He's called holy, you have to be holy. This is, doing this would mean that you are following the mitzvah. You're fulfilling the mitzvah of halachta bidracha, following in his ways. Ve'al derech zu kar'u hanevi'im la'el bekol otan hakinuyim. This is why the Nevi'im would refer to Hashem in different names. You have Erech Apayim, slow to anger, Rav Chesed, abundance of Chesed, Tzaddik, Yashar, Tamim, Gibor, Chazak, Kayotze Bahen. All these adjectives for Hashem's name, they're kinuim, they're different ways to call him. Leodia she'elu derachim tovim bisharim hem. If we're referring to Hashem as Erech Apayim, as a Rav Chesed, then these are ways that we have to emulate. And we must behave like this. We must do whatever we can in order to, again, imitate the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How does a person do it? What does a person need to do so that these de'ot become an integral part of himself? Ya'aseh ve'yishne v'shalesh b'ma'asim she'oseh al pi ha'de'ot ha'emsayiyot. A person not only has to do it once, not only has to do it twice, he has to do it 3 times. And the more you do it, the more it becomes ingrained, more it becomes a part of you. Ve'yachzor b'hen tamid, and constantly go over it. Until it's no longer difficult, it's no longer a burden for you to complete this. And then these de'ot become a part of your neshama. ולפי שהשמות האלו שנקרא בהן היוצר הן הדרך הבינונית שאנו חייבים ללכת בה, נקראת דרך זו דרך השם. Because this is the way that Hashem wanted us to follow, the middle path, it's called derech Hashem. This is the way that Abraham Avinu taught his sons. Shneimar, as the pasuk says in Parashat Vayera, ki edativ, because I informed you, lema'an asher, Hashem says to Abraham, lema'an asher tzaved banav et beto acharav v'shamru derech Hashem la'asot tzedakah u'mishpat. Ve'aolech b'derech zu, a person who follows this path, mevi tova u'bracha le'atzmo, he brings a lot of goodness, he brings a lot of blessing. Shneimar, leman havi Adonai al Abraham et asher diber alav. Okay, that concludes the first perek. Let's begin the second perek. Perek Sheni. This perek deals with a lot of things that we have to look out in terms of eating healthy, being healthy, and different afflictions to the body. So he starts off like this. Hole haguf to'amin hamar matok ve'amatok mar. When the body is sick, nothing makes sense. Nothing is working properly. You taste bitter, it's you eat something sweet, it tastes bitter, and you eat something bitter, it tastes sweet. V'yesh min hacholim mi shemitaveh v'taev lemachalot she'enan re'uim la'achila. Then there are people who are sick who will start eating things and desire to eat things that are not even foods. Kegon ha'afar ve'apeham, such as the afar, the dirt, the coals. So maybe this is a mental illness. Ve'soneh ma'achalot hatovim, and he hates the good food. Kegon hapat ve'abasar, like bread and meat. Hakol lefi rov hacholi, everything is dependent upon how sick he actually is. Kach bnei adam shenafshotehem cholot me'avim ve'ohavim ha'deot hara'ot. Similarly, this is what happens when we have a person who is sick in his soul, and he wants to eat, he wants to chase after de'ot and midot that are improper. Who in their right mind would go and start eating coals? You might say Moshe Rabbeinu in this week's Parashat, Moshe Rabbeinu, right? So I actually I heard something nice this week from Baruch Rosenblum, and the famous Midrash says that Moshe Rabbeinu, he was crawling, and then the Egyptians were worried whether or not he was going to take over Paro, so they put a crown and they put coals and see where he was going to go to. Okay? And of course, the Midrash states that Moshe Rabbeinu went, he was about to go grab the crown, and a malach pushed him towards the coals. And he put the coals in his mouth, and that's how he had a speech impediment. So he asked a question. He goes, Rabotai, pam nagata is a peham? Because have you ever touched a coal? It's hot. All right, it's very hot. You touch it, you drop it. Like if not, you burn your hand. Moshe Rabbeinu, a baby, he's taking the coal, he's putting it in his mouth. And how does he even can hold it that long? So he says, because Moshe Rabbeinu nursed from a non-Jew. And because he nursed from a non-Jew, you have to kosher it. You have to do libun on the mouth. Moshe Rabbeinu, he nursed from a non-Jew. He suckled from a non-Jewish woman. You have to do kashrut. We have to do libun on his mouth. HaKadosh made, they didn't feel anything. That was the way that he was, how he koshered his mouth. Anyways, so we have these people, they're sick in their nefesh, and they're going and they're chasing after ta'avot, they're chasing after midot that are improper. They love to be stingy, they love to be haughty. They They hate the good way. Umit'atzlim lalechet ba. And they're lazy to follow the good way. Vehi keveda lehen limod lefi chol yam. V'chen Yishayahu omer b'anashim alahu. Yishayahu would say, Hoya omrim lara tov ve'latov ra. Woe to the people who call the good bad and the bad good. Samim choshech leor ve'or lachoshech. They put darkness in place of light and light in place of darkness. Samim mar lematok, matok lemar. Sweet in place of bitter and bitter in place of sweet. And on those people it said, Ha'ozvim orchot yosher lalechet bedarchei choshesh. These are the people that leave the right path to go walk in the path of darkness. Umahi takanat chole nefashot. What is the takana? What is the remedy for these people that are sick in their nefesh? Yelchu etzel hachachamim. You have to go to the chacham. Shehem rofei nefashot. You don't go to the doctor in the plaza. He's the rofei for your body. The Chacham is the rofeh for your nefesh. He's the doctor for your soul. They have to teach you. No, you're too stingy. You have to give more tzedakah. No, you're too arrogant. You have to humble yourself. Don't sit with all the big guys. I want you to sit in the corner. I want you to think. I want you to contemplate your actions. And maybe you'll lower yourself. A person who knows that he's suffering from these bad de'ot ra'ot and he doesn't go to a chacham to fix him, aleim amar Shlomo umusar evilim bazu. They disgrace the evilim, the fools, disgrace the musar and the tochacha. That's what the tipshim are. They are fools and they are not interested in fixing themselves. And this is what Shlomo HaMelech has to say about them. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll continue this idea next week.